Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So this is the Addicted Bookworm. So I'm going to also do this review on my fantasy channel because this is, I believe someone said this is fantasy, but it's kind of like a sci-fi drama. And I'm talking about the book Red Rising by Pierce Brown, the first book in the Red Rising series. Now, it is supposed to be a trilogy, but we all know that's not what happened. So Red Rising is about this guy called Darrow, and he is a miner on Mars. And he is the kind of person that believes in keeping his head down. He knows the price of not following the rules. He lost his father, and he's married to this girl. I believe her name is Io. If I'm butchering the name, I'm sorry. And what happens? Sorry. What happens in the course of this book is that Io ends up doing something. I believe she was dancing or she was singing, or they might have been in a forbidden area. I'm not exactly sure. And she ends up being executed for what happened, but because Mars has a low gravity, you have to pull at the person's leg to snap their spine. For Darrow, her death is the end of everything that he wanted to do. He wanted to keep his head down. He just wanted to live his life with his wife, have some kids, things like that. And it's all taken away from him. And what happens is he does something extremely stupid because he is filled with grief. He ends up dead. Well, supposedly dead. He comes back to life because our main character can't die. He has to live. And he is convinced to become a gold. Now, I want to say this before. There's people that don't get this color concept. They literally do an entire review about how they just didn't understand it. Each color represents a different thing. Like pink is your prostitutes, gold are the elite, brown, I believe, are your like your medical people. I think I think white is the medical. I don't know. If I get any of these colors and what they do wrong, I am truly sorry. But the red are the slaves, and they're convinced that they are settlers. So this is the best way to keep them enslaved. So Darrow goes through his whole process of becoming a gold, and it works very well. So he decides, he has to go through this kind of like this competition where he has to prove that he's worthy. Now, he discovers within the hierarchy of gold, there is high and low gold. And the low gold, they're not looked upon very well. And there is competition within these families. They're connected to these houses. And overall, it is basically who is the best. Who is the best. And there's lingo that Darrow has to stop using. He has to use more refined. He has to read all of these books by these very like smart people. So he reads the Odyssey. He reads he reads poetry, he reads history, he reads a fiction, he reads from all these great minds. People that Darrow has never read. And what it does is it kind of gets him a inside of like how the golds think, what they appreciate, what they value, things like that. And he also meets this young man who is not exactly strong, but he's part of one of these families. He's this very young kid. And he really feels bad for this poor kid because this poor kid doesn't want to be here. But he's, he wants to prove himself, and he ends up having to kill the poor kid. And it really hurts him because this kid was really decent. He had a good heart. He was a good person, and he ended up having to kill him. And so, as we progress on in this book, he meets a lot of really wonderful people. He discovers that golds are not as simple as he thought they were. They're very complex, just like any other kinds of people. They're very complex. A lot of them do not follow how things are. And it's very much an emotional roller coaster because it shatters a lot of what he thinks about golds, that, they're the same, they're all evil, they're nasty, they're power hungry. Some of them go through things that he connects with. Like, he definitely cannot stand the idea of a girl, no matter what color she's from, being raped. And this guy is going to rape this girl, and he literally just takes out the garbage. Like, no, we're not doing this bullshit. We're not raping women. And she kind of hangs on to him because of what he did for her. And then they go up to Mount Olympus, which is where the heads of these houses live in. And weirdly enough, they're named after Roman gods, who are essentially the Greek gods who became Romanized. And he does an amazing job in taking out the garbage. And then he discovers that there is one person who has a lot of power that knows exactly what he really is. And he offers Darrow a chance, and he accepts it. Overall, absolutely loved this book. This book has characters that I actually care about. These are characters that you cry when things happen to them that's of no fault of their own. Darrow is an amazing character. I like the color system. I like the fact that it feels like a dystopian. And the whole belief that democracy is evil is something that is pounded into these people from a very young age. But yes, Red Rising was amazing, and I actually just got the second book. I forgot the title of it because I want to immediately hop on to the next book. But yeah. I just had a blast. So I gave this 5 stars on Goodreads. It's definitely worth it. Alright, so with that review out of the way, I will be starting on the second book probably tomorrow because I really want to start on it. So yeah. Another thing is I had a feeling that all of my archived books were still available in my account. Sure enough, they were there. So I will be archiving this book, and it will go into my archive folder on the website. So yeah, I am super excited. It will allow me to see if I've read from that author, and then I can go ahead and get the book if I have. But yeah, so that's my video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, keep reading. Bye.